Is there anybody who's not seeing the screen apart from Mark?
From my end, your screen is visible. From my end, I can see.
Okay, nice. I think, Mark, it might be a network issue. Kindly check it out, please. Thank you. Once you check it, it should be able to work. Now, I guess that is clear. So let's look at this. Let's look at these subject lines. Let's look at this subject line. Somebody just writes, hey, here you go from Tuesday, staff meeting notes, follow up. Which emails do you think is easy here from these emails? Which ones do you think is which subject line do you think is really good from these 5 options? Type your answer in the chat box. Type your answer. Okay. 4. Okay. Nice. So let me share your subject lines. The one you sent moments ago. Let me share the one you sent moments ago. So this is my email, the one you sent. So Callisto is the subject line for Callisto is request to extend the submission date. Okay. And then the one for Nyakwar is session on email writing. And then the one for Samuel Way is request for meeting. And then the one for Betty is checking in. Okay. And then the one for Baka Joseph is request for your time. And then for Garang is greetings. Okay. And then for Mark is inquiring about the training of today. Okay. And it had a full stop. Okay. And then for Mien is happy Sabbath. Okay. So which one, who do you think followed the guidelines explained in the subject line and who did not? So pretty much, I think most of you did well, except one. I think for Mien, don't put a full stop, for example, in a subject line. It's not recommended. And then, like we said, it must really follow these guidelines that are explained in this section. Make sure that it has a clear call to action for your audience, a precise information provided, and it has explicit word choice, just like what you see in these examples. Next, parts of the email. Of course, we look at the body of the email. So make sure that in your email body, the first section should answer the following questions. Is an email your first section should answer the following questions regarding the purpose. Is an email the appropriate method of communication? Why am I sending this email? What action do I want my readers to take? Do I need to include a deadline? Then your second section should answer the question, what information will my reader need in order to achieve my purpose? And then the third section should have extra information, if pertinent. And of course, you have to keep your email to 1 or 2 topics. Don't write too many topics in one email. Of course, when you're writing your email, make sure that the most important information is at the top, backup or supplementary information in the middle, and then extra information at the bottom. So you follow this in journalism. In journalism, Betty, this is called what? Inverted pyramid, right? So you follow this format. Important information, backup information, and then extra information, which is not really important. So, body of the email. Always start your email with greeting. Always, even if you are doing a reply, always greet. Don't write emails in very informal way. Always greet, and your greeting must match the audience, and you must use appropriate title where necessary, and you have to opt for full names if you can, and use a colon in formal business greetings, or you use a what? A comma. If you want to use colon, you use comma. What does it mean? If you're writing an email to me, you have to begin your email with Dear Bida. If I'm writing to Brenda, you have to begin your email with Dear Brenda, even if it is a reply. If I'm writing to Callisto, I have to say Dear Callisto. You see that? So again, now let me come back to your emails. Let me see who has done that. Let me see who has done that. Callisto, Dear Bida. Good. Callisto has done that. Let me look at the next one. Nyakwar, greetings. She has not done that, you see. And then we have Samuel Way, dear sir. I think you know me already, so no need of saying dear sir. You have to write to me by name. And then we see Betty, dear Mr. Bida. Okay, good. He has done that. And then Bakai says hello. In formal writings, you have to use dear. And then Marley, dear. Okay, good. And then Garang, even he has not said dear. Okay. And then Mien also, he has not said dear. So please, I think now you have understood. That is the first element. Make sure that you start with greeting, even if it is a reply. Later on, I will reply to all your emails, and you will see I will begin with what? Dear. So that is very, very important part of writing an email. Always start your email with greeting. Dear Brenda, dear Guy, dear Baka, dear Abraham. Always do that. Even if it is a reply, make sure that is followed. Next, closing of the email. You have to close your email the email should be also as formal as the opening. Since you must make sure that you end with sincerely, warm regards. Okay? Looking forward to hearing from you. And then you have to include your name, and you have to follow. You have to have follow. If you're working for an organization, you have to follow the policies or the guidelines, or you have to have an email. You have to have email signature. Make sure that you have an email signature for your email. Somebody is making noise. You have to make sure that you have an email signature for your email. That is very, very important. If you're using a phone, I'm going to send the guidelines in the. I see most of you, the emails you sent, looks like all of you don't have email signature. So I think this is going to be your first assignment, and which we are going to do now. So those ones who are joining on the computer, I think all of you are using Gmail. So you follow me here on the computer. So on the computer, when you are here on your email, what you do is you click the setting gear up there. You follow. Click the setting gear, and then after clicking, you click see all settings. Then when you click see all settings, you come down here. Down, you come to signatures. Signature is here. You can create as many signature as you want. You see? Now, let me say create new. And then you give your signature a name. For example, if you are a student, like for example, you are a student and you're also doing some gigs, you can have your signature for a student and signature for your work. Like let me say I am communications manager at the Excellence Foundation. So I will say I will name this one communications manager. Then I will create. And then now in this box, I will now put my email. So let me say I want it to end with warm regards. Warm, or let me say I want it to end with all the very best. Okay, like that. Then I will come down 2 lines. Then I will just put something like a dash. Then I will put my name, Emmanuel Communications Manager. I hope you're following me. Those ones who are using a computer. If you're using a phone, you do the same. Go to settings, and then you will see signatures, and then you add. You follow. Just go to your Gmail, and then go to settings, and then you add it. I'm going to send you instructions. So that you are able to add that. I think if most of you are using Android, it's going to be easy. I'm going to forward this instruction. I have forwarded the instruction in the group, so follow that instruction, and then you add your mobile signature. For those who are on the computer, just follow the same explanation I've given. So for South Sudan, and then I can put my phone now. I can put my email. Then I can put my number. Yeah, pretty much that is it. That is enough. And then I can make this my default email. On reply, I will use the same. Then I will come here and click save changes. After saving changes, already it takes me back. Now, if I compose my email, you see it appears here. So I don't need to write my name every time I write an email. My name will always be there because it is already the signature for my email. But of course, you can make it more sophisticated. You can design it all you like. You will design it the way you want. You've seen several people having different designs for the email signature. But for the basics, this is how you do it. I hope that is clear, and I hope some of you have followed me and they have also done the same. That's fine. So let's move on. Next, of course, I said your email signature. Your email signature is your professional card. Make sure that you include your full name, your title, and your organization. You have to add your phone number and professional links like your website, if you have a website, and also you have to add your links like a website. You have to keep it concise and clean. Your name, your title, like I put my title, your company or your university, your phone number, and then your LinkedIn profile. Good thing is all of you have LinkedIn. So yes, so what you do is this is how you do it. For example, let's say that we want to create an email signature for Samuel Way. Let me come back here. You can write it somewhere first if you like. You can write it somewhere first, and then you can just copy and paste. Okay, let me just try to write it here. Let me say these days you just put it together with the subscription. Let's say sincerely, and then you leave a line. You can put a dash if you like, and then you say Samuel Way Guy, right? Samuel Way Guy, right? Okay, yes. And then we said what next? You put your what? Your title and your university or company. Okay, let's say computer science student, University of Juba. You see? And then you put your what? Your phone number. Let's say 92709202526, something like that. And then you can put your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn profile. You just copy the link. Let's say this is my LinkedIn profile. You just copy the link, and then you hyperlink it. You just hyperlink it here. like this. So just something basic like this. But of course, you can make it more advanced if you like. And then, yeah, you can also add this both on the computer and on the phone. And then after adding, like, you can write like somewhere, and then you copy, you go to the signature settings, and then you add it. So I should see that later on when I give you the assignments. I should see that all the emails you are sending me have email signatures. I hope that is clear. Yes. So next, we have attachments. So always, if you are sending an attachment, make sure that you mention that you have attached a file. Please find the report attached. And you have to give your file a professional name. You see, that is why when in these assignments we give you, make sure that you really name your files well. Like some of you, like you're sending a CV, you just name your CV, updated CV. No, you have to put your name. You see, that is why you initiate the assignments we give you. We ensure that you really put your name and then the file. So usually when you're sending professional things, make sure that you name it very, very well, because it then helps a lot. Like if you're sending a CV, you have to put your name first. You have to put your name first. For example, you say Callisto Back, let me say project officer CV or data analyst CV. You see that? So that helps you a lot in clearly giving your files professional names. And then also check that the file is not too large. That is very important. And then let's talk about reply. Reply all, CC and BCC. Use them wisely. Please, when you're sent a mass email, and when you see people in CC, I say that people put in CC are usually people that are just put there so that they can see the email, and they are not required to act. But then now, if you're replying an email, make sure that you reply the email to the person who sent it. Don't use reply all when it is not necessary, because then you get to fill people's inboxes with unnecessary responses. And again, mostly I blame people who don't use BCC, because sometimes the email really, like, let's say you are inviting us for a cluster meeting, for example, and you find those people who invite for cluster meeting, they will add all people's emails in CC, which is wrong. They're supposed to add people's email in BCC, so that when someone is replying to them, the email doesn't get to go to the other people who are BCC'd in the email, right? But then if you use CC and someone uses reply all, the reply gets to go to all people who are in that email. So for you, use reply all only when the response is necessary to everyone who is on the thread. When you see that your reply is necessary, then you use reply all. But if your reply is only intended to the sender of the email, no need to use reply all. And then CC or carbon copy. Only use it for people who need to be kept in the loop, but they don't really need to act. No action is required from them. And again, BCC, which is the blind carbon copy, use it when you need to send an email to a group of people without revealing their email addresses to each other. I said you use it mostly for email campaigns and for mass emails. You use BCC. So please pick this very, very clearly. Next, proofreading. Please always proofread your emails. Always read your email before sending it. Check for spelling and grammatical errors, because a simple error can undermine your professionalism. And also read your email loud to catch awkward phrasing. Yeah, sometimes when you're done, read your email. How does it sound when you read it? Yeah. How do you feel? Do you feel fulfilled that you have really written a professional something? You see that? So make sure that is very, very important. Next, don't send an email just blank. Like yesterday, I received this email. Yesterday, I received this email. Um, somebody sent me this email. Application for this, and then they just put for me below is this, and then they attach a file. Come on, you can do better, right? You can do better when you're sending emails. So please, even if you're sending a job application does not mean you only attach your file and you don't write something in the body. No, you have to write something in the body, and then you attach your application pack, right? And then you follow the rules that I've already explained. in the previous chapter. That is very important. Next, responding to emails. Some of you even you don't read emails. You see, now if I check the email inboxes for many of you here, there are a lot of unread messages, which is not a good thing. I don't know what people like about keeping a lot of emails, but I don't see it as a good thing. Please and please make sure that you read your emails. If you don't want to read it, just delete it from your inbox. Right? Don't just keep an email there, it's not being read, and things like that. Make sure that you read your emails, you check your email inbox, because that is the essence of why emails are being sent. If you don't no longer want to receive an email from campaigns, you unsubscribe. You unsubscribe from that so that you keep your email clean. You see, now all of you have seen my emails. All my emails are read, even the ones you sent to me now. All of them are read. My email inbox is empty. There's no email I've not read. You see here, all emails read. No email has not been read, right? And then you see this one, and I, how many emails do I manage? I manage a lot of emails, by the way. I have my student email, I have my personal email, I have work emails, and I work across several projects, right? But still, I have to make sure that, and these projects have their own emails, right? But still, I have to make sure that I'm able to read what updates are there, what needs my response, but still I'm able to maintain a clean inbox. That is very important. Always respond to email within 24 to 48 hours. That is very important. That does not mean you respond immediately with the action, but you have to respond with that acknowledgement. Hello, dear Bida, I have received this email. I will look into it and provide a feedback, right? That is it. If you cannot provide a full answer right away, send a quick reply to acknowledge the email and provide a timeline for a detailed response. If you're out of office, or if you're not able to respond to an email, you put an away email for an extended period. Let's say that you are traveling to a place with poor network, right? You have to then do what? You have to put an away message. Hello, I'm in a place with bad network and I have limited access to my email. I will try my best to respond as soon as I get your email. That is good, right? So how do you put an away message? Now, all of you use Gmail. I see Josephine is asking, how do I unsubscribe from emails? All emails, they show you when to unsubscribe. For example, I got this email from Candid. Up here, you will see unsubscribe. So when I unsubscribe, I will not receive an email from them again. You see? Up here, unsubscribe. Sometimes down, you see? Down here again, unsubscribe. So you just see the emails you receive very carefully. You will always see unsubscribe either up here or down. And then from there, you can click and then you unsubscribe. But for some websites, the process is a bit complicated. You have to actually write to them an email for them to remove you from their mailing list. But for most of the websites, they usually provide the option for you to be able to unsubscribe from within the website itself. So that is very important. So now, yes, I was saying, yes, to unsubscribe, like here, you can see this here. Like this, you see unsubscribe. So when I click this, I will be able to unsubscribe. Or you go down. Usually most email campaigns, below them, you see you are receiving these emails because ABC. To stop, you can unsubscribe. You see? Then you click unsubscribe. You can see the same on your phone. Just try to check now. You should be able to see that, especially from where you receive emails very often and you no longer wish to receive those emails. You can actually do that. And then I wanted to show you what did I want to show you? I wanted to show you how to put an out of office message. So what you do is you again come to settings, you click all settings. When you come to all settings, you come to come down to vacation responder. So vacation responder, you can turn it on and then you put the dates from this day to this day. Then you put the subject. I'm on leave, right? Out of office until this. Dear sender, thank you for your email. I am out of office and I won't be able to receive your emails. Reach out to this for urgent issues, or I will respond to your email as soon as I read it. And then you click save changes. So this is how you put, this is what you call a vacation responder. I hope that makes sense. Good. Next, there are some mistakes you should avoid when writing emails. These top 5 mistakes. One, please avoid vague or empty subject lines. Unfortunately, even people up to now, they send emails with empty subject line. Really? Why do you do that? You see, so always make sure that your email has a subject line. Your email must have a subject line. Subject line is very, very important. And your subject line must be there, but it must not be vague also. It must be having meaning in it. And then avoid informal tone and language. Yeah, when you write from an email, don't write using informal tone. Use formal language and formal tone. Avoid hitting reply all when not necessary. Especially some of you work for organizations and stuff. You receive an email like that. Make sure that you really don't hit reply all. Make sure that you follow what is really required. And then don't not using professional email signature. Avoid that. Immediately from here, all of you should be able to set your professional signature. And at this time, my assignment deadline is going to be Monday. Actually, I want all the assignment to be done today and submitted today because I'm going to give you a simple assignment. So uh, so make sure that you do your professional signature straight away. Uh, yes, again, check your checklist for your email. Use email appropriately. Check your tone. Review your subject line, whether it's precise and informative. Revise the body paragraphs in the email, whether the purpose of the email is clearly stated. Spell check. Make sure you check whether words have been misspelled and so forth. So again, the idea with email usually is that, for example, if you're writing a very professional email, the best thing is usually to draft the email. Draft it in the notepad of your phone. If you're on your computer, you can draft it on the notepad of your computer or on Microsoft Word. Draft the email there. Make sure the email is professional. And then if you already have an email signature, don't put signature. Just put from dear until where the last paragraph is. Then you copy and then you paste in the email body. So that is how email works. So again, the elements of email etiquette. Make sure you follow the general format, which I've already explained. Writing long messages, attachments, the cause of surprises, and then also using a professional tone. Always, please and please, write a clear subject line for your email. This is very, very important. Write salutation for each email. Dear Lexis, dear Brenda, dear Josephine, dear Betty, comma or colon. Try to keep the email brief. At least it should be one screen at length. Check for punctuation, check for spelling, and check for grammatical errors. And then also use a font that has a professional or neutral look. And by the way, you can change the font in your email, especially on the computer. You should be able to change that. And then include a closing with your name. That is what we call the email signature. Make sure your email signature is there. And then always use capital letters when appropriate, not unnecessarily. And avoid text messages. Avoid short form like how are you? You write R with R, you with capital U. Forgetting, you write like something. No. Avoid short message type when you are writing emails. That is very important. And then try to keep your line. Each line of an email should be 65 characters or less, because your message is likely to be forwarded. If your message is to be forwarded to other people, make sure you keep each line to be 60 characters or less. Set your email preferences to automatically wrap outgoing plain messages. That is very important. Again, when you're writing your email, you can use lists and bullets to show direction, or if you want to emphasize an important point, you can number your directions, or you can bullet your main points. For example, if you want to give directions to someone using an email, right? What you're going to do is this. Place the paper in a drawer. Click the green start button. You see, you're showing direction to someone. Again, if you want to show some bullet points, I have a couple of questions. Bullet point 1, how can we improve customer satisfaction? Bullet point 2, will the proposal empower employees? You see, this is how you write bullet points or list in emails. Next, Write in a positive tone. For example, you say, when you complete grading this assignment, instead of saying, if you ever finish. Okay. Um, Sounds interesting, but it's not nice, right? And then don't use don't use don't use emojis in emails. It's not nice. Don't use emojis in emails. And then use contractions to add a friendly tone. Don't you? Won't you? Can't I? Use such uh, aspects when it comes to tone. Attachments. Again, when you're sending an attachment, make sure you tell your recipient what the name of the file is, what program it is saved in, and the version of the program. For example, you say the attached file is in MS Word, .doc or .docs under the name lab file.docx. Okay? If you use an open source word processor, send files as RTF or PDF. Make sure that open source processors, these are like LibreOffice and stuff. So make sure that you because these days scammers, they send for example, scammers can create sort of can send a document which is fake, and then if you don't see carefully the file type, you can download let me say spyware on your phone, sorry, on your computer or even on your phone, and then they get to spy you, which is not good. So when you're writing, you say the attached file is in MS Word under the name this. That is very important when you're sending an attachment so that the reader knows. Next, when your message is long, you need to warn the readers that the message is long. You can also create a summary or overview of the message. If you require a specific response from the reader, then be sure to request the response in the first paragraph of your email, perhaps using a list. Create headings for each major section as appropriate, especially if you're writing emails using the computer. This is very important. Next, do not wait until the last minute to introduce a problem, or a concern via email. Don't wait. That should always be the first. So avoid surprises or last minute requests. Express questions or concern when you have them, rather than accumulating them. And then this is very, very important. And then because when you send emails to people, and then people are able to respond to you in a timely manner. Let's say that if you are a student and then you are taking, let me say, your university professors by surprise. Like if you have complaints about your grades or projects, you need to make sure that these are done in a timely manner. And then you have to use professional tone when you're voicing your concerns about grades or policies. Uh, they will be received more favorably than if you ask them, why did I get this grade? You see that? So it becomes problematic. Next, we have something called flaming. So flaming is a virtual term which is used to mean venting or sending inflammatory messages in email. So you have to make sure that you avoid flaming because it tends to create a great deal of conflict that spirals out of control. And then you have to make sure that flame fights, of course, are the good equivalent of food fights and tend to affect observers in a very negative way. So what you say cannot be taken back. It is black and white. So make sure that you always avoid flaming or venting or sending inflammatory messages via email. Keep flaming under control. Before you send an email message, make sure you ask yourself, what would I say this to this person's face? Like ask yourself, would I say this to this person's face if I meet this person face to face? Will I be able to say this? Ask yourself that. And then make sure that you calm down before responding to a message that offends you. Once you see an email that is offensive, um, be careful, because once you send it, it is gone. Read your message twice before you send it and assume that you may be misinterpreted when proofreading. So, and then you are able to rewrite your email. Let's say that somebody sent you a flaming email. What do? The first thing you do is you need to empathize. We talked about empathy last time, putting yourself in the shoes of another person. So empathize with the sender's frustration and tell them they are right, if that is true. If you feel you are right, thank them for bringing the matter to your attention. Explain what led to the problem in question. Of course, you avoid getting bogged down by the details and minor arguments. If you are aware that the situation is in the process of being resolved, let the reader know at the top of the response. If you can apologize, apologize if necessary. And this is how you handle inflammatory messages in email. When email, sometimes email cannot work. Yeah. What happens? There are times when email doesn't work. When email doesn't work, that means you need to take your time and discuss the issue out of the virtual world. And you have to speak to the recipient in person. Yes, sometimes email doesn't really work. So you have to meet the person in person. You have to meet the person in person and discuss with them. Discuss with them and then solve the issue face to face. So let's do an exercise. Let's review this email. Somebody is saying, "Dear all, sorry to send this second reminder, but please, just come to the planning meeting next week. As you all know, we here at the YMCA. We here at the YMCA have been working diligently to come up with great activities for our incoming cohort of students for this summer. This year, I am pleased to inform you that we have approximately 120 new K-12 students joining the existing 400 YMCA members for this year." Then the person put an emoji. "In preparing these new students for a worthwhile summer, we should be planning for a successful program. Attached, you will find details regarding logistics, deadlines, and frequently asked questions for this year's program. Thank you for your continued support. I look forward to seeing you all in many, if not all, of the new 2019 summer program activities." Oh, yeah. I hope this email finds you doing great, well rested from our 3-day weekend. Thank you, Tracy. What is the problem with this email? Let's look at the problem. First, all this one highlighted. This is a problem. You cannot say "dear all," for example. If you're addressing a more formal group, right? You have to be very specific. And somebody says sorry to, even without greeting, right? They have not even greeted, you see? And they greeted at the end of the email. You see that? So let's rewrite this email. If you write this email, now this is how you first greet very well. "Dear summer activities team members." If we're writing an email to all of you, we say, "Dear build your best self fellows." You see, something very clear. If we're writing an email to our interns, "Dear interns," right? So that is something that should come out clearly when writing emails. Next, you greet from the beginning. "I hope this email finds you well." You see, and then you end your email with what? "Sincerely," put your full name, "Tracy Robertson." Put your title, "Summer Program Coordinator." Put your organization, YMCA, and put your contact details. This is how you write a professional email. And that pretty much brings us to the end of my presentation. So let me look at the questions you have put in the chat box. Somebody is asking, how do I unsubscribe from emails? I've already answered that. My question is, what is Gmail and email? Okay, so when we look at Gmail, of course, is a software that helps you send an email. It is an email client, an electronic messaging client, and it's more like Yahoo, like Outlook, like Proton Mail, and many other email clients that we have out there. And then email is now the message itself. The message that you send through such software becomes what we call an email. An email is a short form for electronic mail. I hope that answers your question. And then Callisto is saying, "Please, can you show a sample of professional written email with signature before the session ends?" I have already shown you that. It's on the screen. This is an example of a professional email, and I will show you more from from the emails that I have received recently. Okay, I got one here, but it doesn't have a signature. Let me look through very fast if I can get one. Let me look through if I can get one very fast. Okay. Yeah. So yes. So let's look at this one, for example. I received this email. You see, first it has a good subject, custom repository quotation. You see that? Then the email begins, Dear Emmanuel. You see that? I said you have to begin your email with Dear. Thank you for the insightful discussion about your project. As requested, my colleague and I reviewed your needs for the repository, and I am pleased to share the attached quotation for your review. If you have any questions or need clarification, please don't hesitate to reach out. We look forward to working with you to make this repository a success. Kind regards, Isaac Wani, CEO, wani.co and jobstoapply.com. You see? And then this is a link to their website, and they attach the what? The quotation. So this is an example of a simple professional email. And then there's one here, but it doesn't. This one doesn't have. A signature, but it's good. It doesn't have a signature. I think that guy, I need to tell him to work on his signature, but the email is good itself. So let me check this other email of mine to see if there are any emails here. Yes, and then maybe let me talk about this. Let me talk about this. You see, like here, this email is good. This email is good. But what is the problem? The problem with this email is it is not well spaced. You see, this email is not well spaced. You have to really space your email well. For example, dear member. After saying dear member, the person is supposed to leave a space. You see? And then also their signature is clear. The network name, the address, the phone number, and then the email. You see that? So the only mistake with this email is the dates are not put. You see? Otherwise, it's generally a good email. Yes, and then let's look at this one. This one is also good. Dear colleagues and partners, warm greetings from the African Union. And then you see well-spaced email, even when you see warm regards, you see something like this. It's impressive, right? And I don't have other emails. I don't have other emails. I don't have other emails from my site. Okay. Now this is an email that I wrote myself. This is a sent email. Yeah, you see? You begin with dear. Dear, this is a reply, by the way. This is not an original email. You see? Dear Oyela, thank you for your email. Please find attached the complete reference check for this is as requested. We wish you every success, every best in the process. Now, and then I put the what? The attachment. And then this is the what? The signature. So pretty much something like that. I hope that answers the question for Callisto. Next, how do we create the group email? I don't understand that question. What do you mean group email, yeah, Mayen?
Yeah, because I heard from someone that they can create group emails. Like you can send several emails once to many people.
Okay. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course. Now, one, you use the BCC. You use the BCC method. Like how, if we want to send all of you an email, we use the BCC to to do that. We use the BCC to do that. And then if if you want to create, for example, using your Google account, then Google has something called Google Groups. You go to groups.google.com. When you go to groups.google.com, and then you are able to create group email. Um, but then you have to add the emails of the people there. You see this? Groups.email, groups.google.com. This is one way of creating. Like here, we have a group email for our board of directors, and then we have a group email for our staff. Um, So then you just, when you want to send an email to all of them, then I just send to efsboard@googlegroups.com, and then the emails are added. So this is one way. But then I just advise you just use BCC to send emails, mass emails to people, as long as you have their email addresses. Another way is by using uh, by using by using email marketing platforms like Mailchimp or like Email Octopus and so forth. But those ones are advanced options. Next, someone is asking that. I hope that answers your question, Mien. Is it clear? Okay, nice. Next, what is Google account and Gmail? Okay, I've already answered that question. Next, is it okay to bold your subject line? Usually, by default, you cannot bold the subject line. You cannot edit it actually, because when you when you put your subject, let's say, you cannot bold it by default, right? Except if you bold it using another program. Let's say if you bold it using another program and then you copy and paste it there. But within Gmail itself or another email, you cannot actually bold the subject line. It's not possible, except you bold it from using another program and then you copy and then you paste the bold one, the bold. But usually the subject line, you cannot bold it from using most of the email clients out there. And then somebody is asking, how about my name? Let's say if you're sending an email to me and Brenda, then you have to mention that clear. You say, Dear Bida and Brenda. Put that very clear, yeah, Callisto. Yes, make sure that you don't say Dear both. You say, Dear, if I'm writing to Callisto and Mien, I say, Dear Callisto and Mien. Dear Abraham and Josephine. You have to mention that clearly. And then somebody saying repeat email signature. Yeah, you guys were not following. You need to follow these things, please, because it's these are very important things for you. So I say for the email signature you add only once. You add once to using the email settings. If you're using phone, I have sent the instructions in the WhatsApp group. If you're using email, if you're using computer, I'm going to show you right now. But make sure that you add both on your phone and your computer. Yes, so your email signature must have something like this: your name, your title, your company or your university, your phone number, and even your email, and then your social media links or your website if you have any. Or you can just keep it your name and something like that. So on the computer, the first thing is you come to settings. You click settings. After clicking settings, you come to all settings, and then you scroll down to signatures. Like mine, I have 4 signatures so far. So if you don't have any, yours will be empty. And then you click create new. After creating new, and then you add your signature based on these instructions I have put there. You can choose to start with your name, Or you can choose to start with the subscription, like sincerely or best regards or warm regards, something like that, whichever way you like. And then after putting those details, you save it. The first step I say is to give it a name. Let's say if you're a student, and then you are a freelancer, you can also put student and then you put student signature. And then from there, you also put freelance and then you add freelance signature. You can add as many signatures as you want within your account. And then from there, you choose your email defaults. Which should be the default email you use? You choose from the ones you have added. You just choose based on the name. Choose for new emails and also for replies. Then you choose for replies and also for new emails. And then from there, you come down and then you click Save Changes. That is how you create your email signature. I hope that is clear. Garang. And then if you're using a phone, I have sent an instruction for the phone via the group. I hope that is clear for Garang. Next, yeah, I've already shown you, Kaliso, I've shown you the emails I have sent. I've shown you the email I've sent. And then how do you attach a signature after writing the email? Awol Josephine, you don't attach the signature. You create the signature in the settings. After you create the signature in the setting and you set it as a default signature, make sure after creating the signature, you don't end there. You have to add the signature as a default signature for new emails and also as a default signature for replies. When you do that, anytime, like now, I've set my default signature. So whenever I'm starting a new email, one way to prove that you have set your signature, when you click like this, your signature appears here automatically, even without you writing it. You see, my name is already here. My address, you see, this is my signature. That shows that you have set your signature successfully, even on the phone. But if you are drafting and this thing is not there, that means your email was not correctly set. You will have to set it again. So that is it, Josephine. I hope that answers all your questions. Now, I want to show you guys a few things. One, within the email composer. One way, when you compose your email, this is the window. It's small like this, but you can expand it. You can expand it to be big like this. Two, you can send your email. One, you can schedule an email to send the email in the future. Let's say that you want to send an email to someone tomorrow, but tomorrow you're not sure if you will get internet, or today you have enough time and you feel you want to draft the email now. So of course you can go ahead and draft the email, right? You can just draft the email and then you schedule the email. You schedule the email. Let's say I want to send an email to Brenda. I will put here Brenda at EFS.ngo. Then I will say, this is a test email. I will begin my email. Dear Brenda, I trust this email finds you well. Please find attached a .pdf file named build your best self profile. Thank you. Something like this. After putting like that, then I can come and schedule. When you click schedule, then it will give you options like tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, Monday morning, or you can click pick date and time, and you can choose when you can schedule an email and send it 3 months later, 4 months later, you see. And then each time the email can just go. Once the time you have scheduled has gone, the email will go. And then if you have very many signatures and then you want to use a different signature for your email, what you can do is you can click this pen here, insert signature, and then you can choose based on the signature name. If it is human resource, then I will choose human resource. If it is program manager, then I choose program manager. If it is a communications manager, I will choose communications manager. If I want to choose March 2023, March 2023. So this is where you go with your what? Email signature. So this is another way. Another thing is, if you want to do hyperlink, you can put hyperlinks within your email. And I see Majok is asking that. So what you do is, if you have your hyperlink, Majok, what you do is you get your link. After getting your link, you click where you want to hyperlink. Let's say I want to hyperlink this build your best self. Then after highlighting, then I will come to what? To this link. You see this thing here, down here. You click it, and then you say, you put your link, www.build your best, build your best self, build your best self, build your best self blog.com, something like this. Then I will click apply. You see, it's already now when I click here, it is she's this. If I want to change it, I will click what? Change. So this is how you insert hyperlink. Another thing is, of course, you can do a lot of things. You can bullet. Let's say you say boy, girl, man, woman. Let's say that I want to bullet this. I can click here, then I can highlight, then I can bullet. You see, I can number them. You see, whichever way you like. If you want to put quotes, let's say I want to put this, I want to put quotes, then I will click quote. You see, now this has been what? Quoted. If I want to strike through, I can then what? Strike through. So this is pretty much how you play around with formatting your email. If you want to underline, you can underline. If you want to bold, you can bold some important things in the body of the email. If you want to change the font type, you can also change. Let's say I highlight, I can come here and change the font type, whichever way that you like. Let's say I want to change it to this. You see, it has been changed. If you want to change the size also, you can change the size. Small, you make it smaller. Normal, you make it large. You make it huge. You see, but mostly you leave it in what? In normal mode. And then the other thing is, you can also sometimes, there are certain things that even images, you can add your images. If you're using a computer, you can add images directly in the body of the email. For example, here you just insert photo. For example, let me see if I can insert a photo from Google Photos. Let me see this photo, if it will insert. You see, then I just insert it directly within here. Then I just insert, you see, in the body of my email. You see, this has been what? Inserted. So you can do that a lot if you like. That is very important aspect. And then the other thing is, you see this lock icon here. This is called confidential mode. Confidential mode is if you want to send somebody an email that the email is able to expire. The email will expire. The email will disappear from the inbox of the person. Let's say if you're sending a sensitive issue to someone, and then you can use that confidential mode. Or if you're working in a digital security aspect, you can use that. You can put the email to expire in 1 day, the email to expire in 1 week, in 1 month, in 5 years, in 3 months. I think here they just have limited option. They have 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, and then what? 5 years. And then you can also make sure that when you put confidential mode, one, the person will not be able to forward the email. The person will not be able to copy the email. The person will not be able to print the email, and the person cannot download the email. Like if you're sending sensitive issues to people, or if you're sending email to people who are not very serious about certain things, you just put for them confidential mode. They will not be able to download the email. They will not be able to. And then if you put expiry, even the email will disappear from their inbox after the period that you have put. So that is it with the confidential mode. And this pretty much explains most of the aspects that you need. And then also you can put labels, and then you can create, of course, important emails. You can, like, labels are more like folders. And then, of course, you can color options. You can change the text, you see, and you do a lot of things when it comes to your emails. So pretty much that is it with the emailing. And then always make sure that you check your spam folder, so that sometimes if you send a lot of emails and you might be missing emails from certain things, and then you can